Hey everyone, welcome to another Hoodzpah Design live stream. Today is a very special day because we've never had this many guests on a live stream. A lot of planning, a lot of making sure that we could get three faces on one screen, and we did it. I'm joined by Katie Johnson, a letterer and co-owner of Goodtype. She's worked with companies like Penguin, Random House, Trader Joe's, Amazon Music, and Target. You've probably seen one of her Target gift cards, which is every graphic designer's like bucket list item, Target gift card. I remember when I got mine, it was like the big moment. But she's also a co-owner at Goodtype, which offers so many amazing resources for type designers, graphic designers, creatives looking to level up their business and just be inspired. We are also joined by Mattox Shuler, type designer and co-owner at Fort
Just
Foundry.
hit my mic, you know.
And Mattox is behind some of the most famous fonts in modern times. You want to talk about Bourbon? You want to talk about Termina? I mean, he's making some of the bangers that I use in my work every day. And we're so excited to have him here. When he's not doing fonts, he's making beautiful board games at Keymaster Games. Definitely check that out. You all, thank you for joining us. Katie, I'm so glad that you brought this up. You were like, hey, you want to roast my font in public, live on television for the whole internet?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I'm a little laggy, so apologies for that, but hopefully I'll be able to keep up here. But yeah, I felt like it was time for me to get a good roast in. I thought
Confidence was too good.
that I'd trust more. Yeah, so I actually have never delved into font making before. I've been lettering for like, gosh, 15 years now, something like that. But I was honestly scared of fonts because I was scared of what I would do to myself. I am a recovering perfectionist, and I could really imagine myself getting insane about fonts and like really driving myself crazy. So I've come really far with some therapy and medication, and this is part of my practice
we love that for you.
of trying to land in a place where I can be a reasonable human being. And I feel like this is a really good practice for me.
This is a great start. Yeah, this is a great start.
And I did want to mention that I took a class to start this font. It was with Type Electives, the crash course in font design. So that is how this was born.
Ah, love that.
That's awesome.
And Mattox, we're so stoked to have you. When Katie reached out and was like, do you think it'd be fun to do a live critique of my new font? Because like Katie said, she's been a letterer for years, but like making a font, like that transition isn't always like seamless and smooth. There's a lot that, works on lettering that doesn't work on fonts. And when she asked, I was like, I know that I am not 100% like qualified to do this on my own, so I have to call a friend, and the friend that I'm calling is Mattox Shuler from Fort Foundry.
Heck yeah.
Let's go. Thanks. You called the right person if you wanted a mean roast of a font. Like, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I really loved when Katie was like,
this brings me back to my American Idol audition that I've kept secret from most people, but I definitely did it.
Oh my gosh.
Internet,
That's amazing.
Chat, can you please hunt down on the internet? There has to be a remnant of this somewhere. I know it's on a YouTube, a private YouTube somewhere.
Aired. I didn't get to quite that point, but they brought a big group of us up at first, and they asked me to sing like multiple times, and so I could tell it was like in a good direction, but then I forgot all the words to the song.
No, Katie, no.
And so I started like riffing. I was like,
okay, but exciting. I'm shocked they didn't air it. It was probably hilarious.
The most embarrassing moments of my life, and I can't believe I'm telling
This
it.
is
but
like
it feels
dream
like the
level
proper
stuff.
place to
This is like nightmare. This is like repeating nightmare stuff. Everyone in the chat is saying Hannah Smith and Emmeline Caulfield both said hello. What? I knew that you were a singer, but I didn't know that you had gone on American Idol.
I'm fully blushing. Yeah,
Travis
really
Roof is in the chat, and he's saying sing, sing, sing. He's getting the chant going, sing, sing. Maybe at the end we'll have you.
Maybe at the end,
yeah. I love that. When the credits roll, we'll just have you sing us send off.
Set up.
Ooh,
yeah.
I used to be in my family's bluegrass band. I could break out the fiddle, y'all. Okay,
Oh
Oh
my
my
gosh,
gosh,
the
let's
let's
go.
plan
lore.
this for
Let's
The
later.
go.
Let's
lore.
plan this for later. Okay, welcome to everyone in the chat. We have some wonderful folks in here. We've got Travis Roof, we've got Excellence Adigan, we've got Ronnie from the Netherlands, Zero Earth, hello, what's up? Jeanette Pritchard, Hannah, so many of our studies, so many of the folks that we hang out with every week here on our little design show. It's usually every other week we do some sort of live stream, usually sharing some of our work, something we've been trying to get done off our plate. But yeah, really excited today that we're doing more of a font critique. So I think Mattox, I'll go ahead and jump into sharing your screen so that we can kind of walk through a little bit of what we're going to get up to today. I know I already did
Sweet.
intros, but a little bit about our companies. Mattox, you want to go to the next slide and I can just tell everybody about
Yeah.
the Fort app?
I'll
Basically,
just
the
show
Fort app.
Fort app real quick.
Oh, yeah, let's show it. So basically, Mattox and I know each other because we have been working on this thing called the Fort app together, which Mattox made, but he said, do you want in? And I said, yes. And it's basically one membership. You get all of our combined fonts, and you get 12 new fonts a year, which is crazy. That's one new font every month that we're going to be releasing. And it's just whole thing was made because we were like, gosh, it's so outdated the way that we deliver font files to clients and just the way that we're able to, like let people try the fonts so that they can see if they even want to use them. And so Mattox and his team, Brian, shout out to Brian, shout out to Jeremiah, and the Font Dude team created this brand new app where it literally syncs with your desktop. And Mattox, I'll let you kind of walk through a little bit of it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we were just trying to like rethink fonts of where we've been with licensing and all that good stuff, and really setting up like a more designer first mentality where it's like the best feeling is when people use your fonts. Like it's like seeing it out there and you're like,
The
oh my
best.
gosh. We've never had Target gift card level, sadly, but our fonts have been used in Target, which feels similar. And it was like, oh my
There we go.
gosh, I took a picture this past
Absolutely.
weekend because Tiller was getting used there. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. So
I
that
love
feeling
that.
is the best. And we wanted to give like the way that they get used is getting it out there in the easiest way possible. And so we're like, how do we develop something that allows people to use our fonts, that doesn't break the bank, and gives them access to all of our stuff, but also leaves them something to remember us by or something to keep because we didn't want it to just be another subscription. So we did more of like a membership. We wanted it to feel like Costco where it's
Yeah.
like, hey, by spending money here, you feel like you're making money. And so it's
Totally.
$99 a year, but you get you get access to all of our families of Hoodzpah and Forts, but also you get rewards like the credit system, kind of like Audible, where you can go in and you get a credit to any font family each year. So you can go and choose maybe one that costs $300 and you could use your credit towards that. And so you feel like even by, using it that way, you're getting it forever. So I don't know. We're really excited about this. There's learning moments every time, and then we're getting web fonts in
epic.
here in the next month or so.
Yeah.
But and having just being able to upload new stuff into there, stuff that's in the works is in the secret layer of things that are coming out, like East Bay from Amy. She's been working
baby.
on.
It's so
and
pretty,
these
you
are
guys.
like
The bold weight is
it's a way
stunning.
to
I
get
hate,
things.
I hate to interrupt, but it is. So, and continue,
let's go.
Mattox.
But yeah, it's just a way to get our type into the designer's hands in the easiest way possible, and have a feel good moment there is the hope. So that's been something we've been working on. We still release fonts and get them all out there through our website and all that good stuff. But that's been like the focus of the past 6 months. And there's Hood fonts. That's y'all's jam.
Yep, we finally are separating out our Foundry, and if you haven't been here for the last few streams, we are trying to separate it out, and we've got a new name for it. It's called Hood Fonts, and I thought I would just let it be known here. I'm going to start disseminating that Hood Fonts is a thing. I'm just going to start getting it into the collective consciousness. Hood Fonts exist. Yes, zoom in there. Give it a good zoom.
That's like it's just floating in your mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let it be seared into your brain. But yeah, if you're interested in us building that Foundry, we're working on a site right now with Trust. Shout out to Hannah in the chat. And there'll be more. We'll be sharing all our process and stuff on Instagram and TikTok at HoodFonts. And last but not least, our wonderful guest, Katie and Ilana at Goodtype, they just released a brand new book. It's called Follow Your Art. Katie, do you have any do you want to give us a little snippet of what's in there?
Yeah, basically, it is a guide and workbook to help you uncover your own creative voice and work through all the noise that's out in the ether that's trying to pull you in different directions, and just listen to your gut and figure out who your authentic self is as a human and as an artist, and then how to express that outwardly and tell other people who you are and what you make. Yeah, so that came out just a few months ago, so it's brand new, and we're really excited to be sharing that.
Very cool. Very
That's
cool. So
awesome.
check it out. Yeah, definitely check it out. It's from Abrams. And if you've been having trouble finding your style, there's a lot of really cool exercises in there. Okay, so housekeeping done. Let's get into the font critique. Okay,
Woo! Oh
so
my
Mattox,
gosh, roast
yeah,
me. Roast me good.
I will say, Katie,
Roast me good.
when you sent this over, I was like, it's so beautiful. Like when you said roast me, I was like, automatically, I love it. I love the vibe. And I asked you if you wanted to share any kind of like, work in progress kind of PDFs, and you put this together for us. But how did you start this font? Like, does your kind of idea, and I know this is your first font, we should, okay, let me set the stage. So Katie's been lettering for almost 15 years, as you said, but this is her first font, and she's asking us for any kind of like input and critique. So my question is like, how did this come to be? Where did the idea spin from? Was it something you saw? Was it like client work that got rejected? Like how did this start?
Okay, so it started because I decided that I wanted to try my hand at a font, took the class from Type Electives, the crash course, and then we just started with like type cooker exercises, which for anybody who doesn't know, it's like you just put different kind of parameters together that describe features that a font could have, and then you start creating a sketch for that, and you kind of blaze through them and just see what comes out of you. So we did a couple of those, and I warmed up with that, but then I just sat down and was like, what's the thing that I want to make the most, that I feel like I letter most often, that I want to just have be a font so I can just type it out, because I do it all the time. And so this kind of just came out of me from that. And I had like literally no planning of like, like this will be very sellable and marketable and any of that. I just wanted my first font to be something I could get super personally excited about, and I wanted it to be something that I didn't necessarily see around everywhere. So yeah, that's how this kind of came out. I really am influenced a lot by like Art Nouveau and like Victorian kind of era things. So I don't know that this is like Art Nouveau-y, but it's more like somewhere in the Victorian period. I feel like this could have lived, and it's like a modernized version of that a little bit. So yeah,
I could see it at the Bradbury building in LA. I could totally see this at the Bradbury building in LA. Like this is gorge. Katie, I love what you said. I just have to say, I work the same way. Like once I start a font, mine's usually starts from like something I made for another project that didn't get picked or that I loved and people really resonated with. And I'm like, I think everyone is loving this as much as me, and maybe I should like take it from lettering to be something bigger. But like, I love what you said about having parameters, because if I don't give myself a list of what I'm trying to do with my font, once I kind of have a few letters there, I start to spin out of like, oh, but maybe it should be more like this. And you could change it 100 times. So like just having limitations of like, it's going to be a display font, it's going to be a serif, it's going to be Victorian, like, tall X height, narrow, like just like giving yourself some nice parameters, I find is like such a nice way to keep making decisions and like move forward quickly without like getting hung up.
I think there might be a type cooker website. I feel like we used it in class for a second. If anybody should drop it in the chat if you know what it is. But I think there's like it'll just like randomly generate parameters, and then it just like gives you the prompt so you can start making stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I think the other part too is like just riding the wave. Like a lot of our fonts happen late at night, where it's just like you're just at least the initial work, you're like seeing it come together. And especially the beginning, I remember making my first typeface and being like, you're typing letters out and you're like, I can't believe I'm typing stuff and this is working. Like
it's showing up on the screen. Oh, it's 100%.
It's titillating.
Oh my gosh. And Katie, we have some love in the chat. I gotta say real quick that Marcus said that E to S, and I think you're so right. Like the way that E curve tucks into the S curve, like that kind of rhythm, that gets me amped. That kind of like rhythm in a typeface is like where I get really stoked on. Like it just feels intentional. Like that's kind of things I think about in like logo design at Hoodzpah. So it's like things like that, and like where do you repeat? Where do you like create differentiation? Like anyway, so Marcus is loving it. Everyone, Jose said it's perfect, no notes. Next question. So anyway, the chat's loving it.
Well, part of y'all's job today is going to be to help me name this thing. So be thinking of it. I have some options at the end, but that is the hardest part. Oh my God.
This is fun because I can
Do
do a
you
poll.
all
So
agree?
basically, oh, 100%. And what's left? Everyone is a type designer now. So I'm just like, there's going to be no names left. Apparently, there's like a
I
trademark
know.
crisis in the United States because there's so many new businesses popping up. Apparently, like, it's a literal issue.
Oh my
But yeah.
gosh.
But Maddox, do you want to walk us through some of like these test pages or maybe through like your kind of previewing and just kind of like, just kind of like run through some of the things that you're noticing?
Yeah, I mean, well, first off, as everyone was saying, like this is so lovely, like seeing the sketch and just being like, ah, there's sometimes things happen in sketches that don't happen. I do a lot of work in the computer,
Hmm.
most of the time, and I always felt like, oh man, like I'm like I can't sketch great. But even just trying to sketch some stuff, you can see stuff come out that way, and you're like, it just sparks ideas or even helps solve certain things that were like solved here in the sketch that as it translates into the world of vector that your eyes like it's less, there's a mushiness there. Like I love songwriting and recording and whatnot, and people sometimes
Yeah.
talk about how you can just like turn a song down and just hear like the bass, where you like filter out the high end. And I feel like that kind of happens when you're working on sketchy stuff, like where it blends all together. You're less tuned into like the minor imperfections because it's all doing,
It's
minor
all
stuff in
vibes.
a
It's
fun
all
and quirky
vibes,
way.
baby.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and so as it transitions to vector, that's always the question that I have too. Is like when we're reviving old type, is like, is anything getting lost along the way? And so that can also be a helpful point too. Like whenever we're giving feedback, or like what is that person's desire, the artist's desire in that, and what they're coming up with versus like imparting what you think should be the case. As designers can be prone to, I guess. So all that to say, like I think that one, this is the PDF that Katie made. It's awesome. It covers a lot of the things here, and in a lot of the forms. What we're gonna do is we're gonna jump into our production environment and show some stuff there, and then jump into glyphs and dive into some tweaks and changes. I usually like to do more sketching over stuff, but since this is all digital, like I'll tweak your forms, but please feel free to make them your own, Katie, by all means in that.
Amazing. Do you
I
guys ever do proofs like this, or is that what your system is gonna do on uh am I getting ahead of you? Or do
No,
you
no,
do
you're
like
good.
PDF?
Yeah. We'll do PDF proofs. Font Proofer is another great tool that we've used, that Peter, who helped make our app, does, but it creates a ton of great PDFs of that where you can print them out. And then our side is more for like rendering online and checking out there for like quick setups, as we have like an export system where stuff that I or Brian are working on can just like upload it there, and then we can give feedback to one another that way. So we'll dive in there, and then Font Proofer, maybe you can throw that in chat, someone, if that would be helpful for folks. But yeah, this is also helpful to see the call out things of like, hey, this is this crazy awesome tea. Like this is a big moment in the family if you go this route, which is awesome. We'll talk about that. Okay,
Sweet.
so let's dive in. And this is like whenever you're working on a font, it can be like it's a massive thing, and you're like, let me just go for a all caps family first. So like that was where I started way in the past, because like I know like lowercase can be hard. So all props to you for doing jumping in and diving into lowercase and everything. And we like, whether you're doing a revival or doing a new take on a genre, or having some standards, it can be helpful to learn from those standards too, and have like comparison families just to look at as a like, how are they solving certain problems. I
Mhm.
have uploaded this into our production environment. So I like, really, this is a back end system that we have that Brian, one of the other designers at Fort, has made with Claude Code. He's crazy. And
That is
AI
insane.
is, yeah, I
This is
know,
so
crazy, but the
cool.
development side of things has been awesome. And basically, it's really tailored for us. So like, I don't know, if more people want something like this, we can figure out how to like make it more streamlined. But all that to say,
A
it
thousand
has a lot of
percent.
I
these.
was I was gonna say, Maddox, I think you guys should. I think it would be like such a great thing to have.
Yeah, this is incredible.
Yeah, if people want it. So you basically drop the files here, and it's going to upload it into all these different controls and strings and whatnot when we're looking at different systems. And I'm going to open Glyphs in just a second here and kind of talk through how we approach a family. But this is awesome to just kind of come in here and look at these things. It's going to show kerning pairs and go like, hey, what are the main pairs we're looking at? What ones we're missing. It's going to show all the different areas that way. And then also just from the like language support side of things to if you want to tweak certain parameters here, the tracking, that's going to be something we'll dive into in a second here. But like for us in a retail release, our secret layer just has like A through Z and this sort of stuff. So it's like, hey, that's all good. But retail release, it'll read the family and say, here's all the things that are needed, but here's what we'd recommend putting in there to get it to full retail release level that supports the languages that we always support on our side of things. Cause it's like, hey, cool, this is supporting 41 of 80 European languages. Here's the ones we're missing there. And so it just kind of calls out those
really
things, which
cool.
is really helpful.
That is handy that it tells you like the language support that you can offer. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
incredible.
It's great. So Brian will
People
work
in
on
the
something
chat are
and
begging for it.
Yeah, just so you know, Mattox, literally in the chat, everyone's like, make this a product. Mattox is like, we're already making one product that we're trying to finish. So, okay, but next in the pipeline, Mattox.
Yeah.
Once we get web fonts up on Fort, we'll do it next.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it'll call out just missing characters and things like that are really helpful and has all the strings and all the stuff. And then we are continue to figure out what other stuff we might throw in here from literature or all that good stuff that would be helpful. So in general, let's dive into this font. And Katie, yeah, thank you again. I know it can feel vulnerable, like throwing your work out there.
Oh my God,
ahead of
thank
time.
you.
And that was me for sure. I was sharing with them, like I would go to Type Tuesday in Seattle back in 2012 and 2013 and
bravely naming the year, bravely telling 2012, 2013. Love it.
Yeah, like old. I know, sorry, I am old. But the kids at the pool the other day, they're like, "There's no way you're Sarah's dad. You look like a teenager." So
you do, Mattox. You do. Those comments. You start to cherish those and think on them daily. But anyway, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Daily. But yeah, so I was doing type back then as a graphic designer who was like seeing other folks release type, like Lost Type, and I was like, oh my gosh, graphic designers are making fonts. This is so cool. I want to get into this. And Glyphs had just hit the scene. And so this was an application like that was a lot easier to work with. And we'll dive into here just maybe a quick rundown so that people can understand what's going on if they're not familiar with it. But basically this application allows you to set up a family from A to Z. You can add new characters in there as needed for the different accent support and whatnot. But really, here's all our characters that are currently in this family, symbols, diacritics, all the marks. And what you're seeing is like, hey, if we're going to jump in here, this is vector data. So it's saying, hey, here's our point data that's happening here. If you're going to move a point, it's similar to Illustrator or other vector programs where that's going to adjust that with your Bezier nodes and different outline shapes here. So this is one of the first things that we'll look at actually on this family and something that would be really easy to like just run through and do. But would be to clean up the nodes. So right now we have this awesome family that's in here. But there's a few like extra points and nodes in all these different areas that are happening. And it's going to make our job a little harder tweaking things. So I think it's going to show these menus. If it doesn't, I'm sorry. But in the path area up here, you can go perfect, and just, okay, great. So there's tidy up paths. That in Glyphs is just going to make everything nice. It's going to remove some extra stuff, take out things that are unnecessary. We still might have to do some cleaning up, and some of this stuff is preference of like what folks would want to have happen here. Of like, do you want this to be that, or would you want this to go all the way there? All those things, those are like minor design decisions, but they're going to affect how you're going to make a bold weight if you do end up doing that for this family, because you're going to want to make it so that all of these nodes are the same, like they match up, if that makes sense. So like the starting node, which is currently down here, that's the arrow point that's happening there. That's how Glyphs works. It's like, hey, there's always a node or a counter that's going to start that one. So this one's going right. If I make another one and it's going right, it's like, cool. We're both positive shapes. If I reverse that contour, that's going to turn it into a negative shape there. So one's going right and one's going left, and that's going to mean cut through that space versus add more positive space to that. Does that make sense on y'all's end? Y'all probably already know all that stuff, but those are totally contours and the way they work. The other way that Glyphs works is
it's kind of fun too, the contours thing. It's like I find like a lot of people will text me and they're like, hey, I'm just getting into Glyphs. Like I have like a cutout, like there's a cutout in my letters that's like not supposed to be there, and I'm like, it's always the path direction. It's always the path direction, and it's going the wrong way. And so usually I always just select all in that main font area, select all characters and just like tidy up path everything together. That's the cool thing about the Glyphs app is like you can mass fix stuff like so easy. Everything is just like so easy. It's great.
So path directions. Yep, you got it. That's one of the big things. And then these green nodes mean like it's going to hold the handle. If we go over and hit enter, that'll turn it blue, and that means it's not going to keep that angle of the handle going on there. The other nice thing about Glyphs that I love is like you have this fit curve over here, and it's just going to do the same thing to all these curves at once if you highlight that. And that can be a way to like synthesize, what is the word? Synthesize your like rounds
Streamline?
to get a starting point, but sometimes you'll want to like still adjust those to like maybe where you feel like they should be. It's just like a really helpful, easy tool on that side of things. But even on this character, like this would be personal preference. You don't need to do this, Katie, but I would probably like, it depends on where we want that. As it flows out, I really like what's going on there, but I might even like remove overlap on all the things here. Path, remove overlap, or Command Shift O is the other quick key there. And that can just like, it's just going to take it's going to make some of the stuff easier to work with. That is even, there's some extra stuff going on there. Oh, we want that. We'll address that in a second here, but all that to say like that, I prefer working just, you can do it either way. Like that's just, again, like kind of a preference thing, but like the more comfortable you get with Glyphs, I think the more you'll like, oh cool, let's push that out, or let's hold Option. When you hold Option, it keeps the curve going on there.
Yes,
like
that's
finding
the
where
best.
you want that to flow.
It's so
That's the best thing about Glyphs is
Oh
how much you can dial in, like moving these tiny micro adjustments, and you can like, you can keep your node in the same place, but just like move one of the handles with like the nudging it a little bit. It feels so good. It like feels better.
So
I
good.
would like prefer it already over drawing vectors in Illustrator because it just feels, it's like built for doing specific type stuff.
Yeah,
which is
for
magic.
sure.
Yeah.
And not to make anyone nervous here, but we gotta do a shout out because Adam Vickerel's in the chat. What's up, Adam? Everyone's saying Adam Vickerel, royalty amongst us. So anyway, shout out to Adam. And Made by Marcus said that
I don't know who Adam is. I'm so sorry. Hello, Adam.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you will. As soon as you Google him, Mattox, you'll know. You will.
He makes
Mattox has been living under a
sorry.
rock. Also Made by Marcus said RoboFont equals Android, Glyphs equals Apple, and I fully agree. That's so funny. RoboFonts is like so overwhelming.
You can build a lot of your own tools in that, which is cool. But yeah, we'll start back from like the spacing of this and kind of tackle some things from there for these overall characters. So instead I feel like I was diving into the minutia here, and I've already adjusted that, like, and we'll bring that back to like around where it was and then start talking about some things. But all that to say, okay, so we have our full family here. Whenever we're starting with a family, I really like to just be like, this is where we're living, like just this character set. This is going to be the most, it's easy to get lost in all the sauce of like, man, there's so many diacritics, and we'll talk about how those are set up or whatnot. But like overall, like I just like to get this menu and be like, hey, we need to make this really good. We need to make the letters look really good, and they need to be spaced freaking perfectly until we move on to the next part of this family, which might be numbers. And then after that, it's symbols or other stuff. We'll have some symbols like periods so that when we're testing, it works with these strings. But this is where like our main focus goes for the majority, like first, 60 to 70% of the family is like, make this good, or weight wise, if you're adding weights there, like it can, you might have 3 or 4 masters that are in this that you're working around. So we're going to start here, and we're going to start with our controls. We might, tidy up paths. Katie, what do you want to do? Do you want me to remove stuff here? The other way you can set these up is like with corner components. Are you familiar with that? That might be too nerdy for right now.
Yeah, we did talk about components. The folks who were teaching the class were like, you could use them, but we don't like to use components too often, so I ended up going without.
Yeah, Graham always tells me the same things. He's like, I hate components, and I love components. So I'm always like, use the components. But Mattox, for the sake of just focusing on visuals, what if we skip making components? Unless it's helpful for consistency.
Just do this for now. No, we can just do this for now, and that can be a whole nother thing.
Sorry that you're seeing it's like you're looking at my layer naming or something. Like it feels like you're really looking under the
hood. Yeah.
I should have gone through and fixed all these before, but I guess this is helpful for.
I love seeing messy files. That's like the fun part. Yeah.
Cleaning up that stuff too can be helpful. Like we had some issue where there was an extra node or one of the nodes was the wrong contour, even though this was going like right, maybe it goes left and it wasn't fixed for the final, and it renders wrong when it's like on the baseline, it was rendering like it wasn't. So there's some like weird stuff that can happen when there's like extra nodes or the contours are wrong.
Yeah,
And so
I've
that's why
seen
it
it
can be
happen.
important.
I think I didn't fix the queue yet. It happens in the queue because I did something weird with like how my nodes are connected. And so when it rendered in the PDF, when you're like zoomed out, you can see like some of the areas that are over, it's the lowercase q, sorry. Some of the
Yeah.
areas
I
that
think I saw it in
are,
the section sign as well. And it's just
yeah,
because
yeah,
these
yeah.
nodes are going the reverse direction. And if we like fill that just fixed it. I hit Command Shift R, but that like does that for these. It like
Bam.
resets the nodes. And you always want your bottom one to be the start one and the bottom left, whatever your most bottom left point is. So like in this
I
one,
don't
that's
even
going to
know
be the
how to
most
make
bottom
it
left
a
point.
start.
So you can
You just
What,
hit
select
how do,
right
a,
click it and make
yeah.
node first.
oh,
And but you
okay.
can
But
And
even
so
also
if
what is the,
Mattox. Yeah, Maddox show her the like easy trick where you just select the letter and have just do like tidy up paths, because tidy up paths will do it too, right?
tidy up pass an option, or just Command Shift R
Okay.
is, what is that? That is the correct path direction. So that
Okay.
is going to
Yeah.
correct all your paths. Is like, looks at your letter form or figures out and says like, cool, this is the bottommost one here. Here's the other bottommost one. And that'll fix a lot of that stuff. So that's Command Shift R. And then tidy up paths. That one's looking at how do what should I remove from these characters? Like if we hit
mhm.
that here, that's going to remove the extra points that probably aren't necessary. It thinks they are there. So that's why like it's sometimes not great. So I would just remove overlap. That's the other thing that you can do in path over here. Remove overlap. That's like your, merge glyph in, or merge symbols in Illustrator. But that like takes it all out. And then it also corrects these things because we want these to be green. We want these to be blue because they don't have another endpoint. We want to tweak them that way, whereas these should stay green, which is always like completely horizontal or vertical. That's what I'm trying to
And
say.
remind me why
Um,
it matters which node is the first node. What does that do?
that helps the glyph just render properly, of knowing like, hey, this is the start of the glyph and the most bottom left point on that, and that's
Interesting.
just
Okay.
industry standard for
Sweet
that.
note. Thank you.
Because Maddox said so.
So that's right, yeah.
Perfect.
So Command Shift R, that's when if I hit that, boom, it's like putting that one on the bottom now for our O. This is the other area too. Like an O is a helpful place if we're like fit curve wise, like where, like you can just see this is getting tweaked slightly, which might not be what we want. Like it's like, hey, this is like pushing it away from where we want it to be versus, but it's just to your point of glyphs and like where it's at. We can see that this node right now is our point data is what glyphs is all about. Is X is 0, so it's not moving left or right. That's like your XY graph. And Y is 257. So this is 257 high. This one over here is 228 high. We would probably want these things to match. You can get away with
Yeah.
some difference, and there can be some like charm in like the not perfect side of things. But and generally O's wise are like, and this is where like how far do you nerd out on this stuff, but like our left side here is 160, our right is 162. We might just like nudge that over so they're like 161 and 161, and 358 and 358. That means they're like creating that perfect arc on the top and bottom. Same with our bottom here. I'm just going to nudge that over. So our insides right now are 98 and 99. I'm going to measure these. We have 62 and 63 on the left. So we want these to be even. It's okay if they're like slightly off sometimes, especially when interpolation happens. Like you might get minor things, like someone with some crazy keen eye might know what's going on there, but I'm going to move that over so it's 62 and 62. So our stroke widths are 62. Your stroke widths of your I's or your H's are at 55, and we want that to be intact. Your O's are thicker. That's a good thing because you're having to compensate for the rounds that are happening there. And then we got
Hmm.
98 and 100, so I'm going to move this over, and it's going to tell us that we're like good. We're like all aligned on that. What you kind of saw that happen there. And I might pick a fit curve right now just to see like this is just in that testing phase of like, hey, if you liked it more in the sketch, keep closer to that. But like if it's like, hey, this is like helping us get to a curve that's more pleasing to what you want, great. And it's not perfect, right? Like sometimes you have to go in and zhuzh it how you want. But like this is where it was. You can kind of see these are kind of bowing. This is just going to give it a little bit of a stronger like rounding there that's happening. Not sure you
Mm-hmm.
want that, but let's just hang out there for now and just say, hey, cool. The outsides really didn't change that much. And that's the other part about type design is like understanding the negative space and how it's working with inside the letter and then around the letters. Like we could spend days and days on
People
just that
always
part
be
of it.
sleeping on the negative space. We're always paying attention to the positive space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So those areas there are like, hey, we have our HHI. We're trying to create lovely little fence posts that are kind of happening in a rhythm as we read words and are taking into account there. You already had your O compensated for, which is great. So you got it going 14 to 7. So it's 714 above the cap height and then 14 below. Those are locked in. They're looking great. And that's 39 and 39. Like those are all even and equal. Nice. That's what you want. Those
And
typically
Mattox,
range from like 10 to 20.
the numbers that you're reading.
Go
So
ahead,
Mattox
sorry.
has this cool, like if you can't see because it's kind of small on the screen, but Mattox has this cool measurement tool, and he's basically just measuring the
Yeah,
weight
it will not.
of the different areas. So like the thins are all about 38, I think you said, or 14, and then the thicks are all like we're kind of keeping those consistent on the O. And he has this really cool measuring tool where he can see like, okay, what's the width here, so that he can make sure that there's like good consistency. That's what's really cool about Glyphs is they give you all the nitty gritty info, and you can measure stuff, and it's just like really easy to see if like things are consistent, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're dialing in some things here. Where are your H lands? Where are your O lands? A lot of that can be taste. You can like go into like an old style look that has more condensed, you know, B's, E's, R's. That like your B, R, D, P. These are kind of characters that live in a place together. Your HIO or your HIO and D are kind of these control spaces, and those are the ones that we're going to focus on at the start because they're going to be really defining for the family itself. They're setting the spacing for how this is all going to come out, along with the
Yeah.
overall like width of those characters. And so you could spend a good bit of time here and then have that be the thing that you're always referencing back to when you're like looking at, is a character feeling too wide? Is the M wide enough? Like
Right.
what's right? And what's right, you know, varies per family, but like that's where you're like, at least I have a home base. Like let's set the home base and then measure everything to that. On our D, so I'm gonna just do the same thing there, or we don't need to get too into the weeds on some of this stuff, but I'm gonna remove that overlap, reset these path barriers. I'm going just fast mode right now.
Yeah, you're going ham on that.
And what we're gonna do is we just want that curve of the D. Sometimes it's helpful. Some people like Ds that are distinctly different than O's because it helps them stand apart, especially in geometric families. But in our case, like let's just look at what that fit curve is going to do to our O. So like this, we're looking at, and you can set your curves here. I'm like the third node from the right over here. I'm going to go in here and just like hit third node from the right on just this area over here to kind of merge it with the O that's going on there. And we might not like it entirely. We're like, hey, this is looking good. It's like always a starting point is how I like to think about that. And then maybe we like bring it into,
a little
and I'm
bit
just holding
rounder.
option and moving that
Yeah.
to like get that rounding going on that. Sometimes, yeah, we can, and we want the inside space of the D to match that inside space of the O here. So,
And if you don't, I
that's at
think
least-
Mattox, am I right that ruler tool that you're using, that's like a script that you have to download from like Mecha Blue?
it's just in Glyphs. You just hit L.
Oh, it's in Glyphs? Okay.
It's just,
Yeah.
yeah. You can just hit L, and we're measuring things to make sure, hey, cool. Like we might want this one should be 262 to match the O. The D, the H, a lot of this is a feel thing too. There's not like a number that you're looking for. It's like, does the space inside it feel like it's matching the spaces in those other characters?
Right.
The other thing I want to point out, Haji, this is going to be the biggest change in this family that I was seeing, and it will impact the lowercase much more so. But like we're going to start here just as a like, do we like this? So one is, I think that your O could be tighter. Like I'm also guilty of like wanting tight spacing all the time. So feel free to be like, no, you're just wrong. But I think your HIs are feeling good. There's like good breathing room there, but the O feels like it could just be a little inset a little bit more into there and still feel like
Uh-huh.
it's floating. I would say maybe 25. So I'm just like going the way the glyphs works. It's weird to wrap your mind around at first for people watching, but like this is a bounding box on this character and is like negative space around here. I'm adjusting how far that negative space goes by saying I want 25 points of negative space. I could say I want 75 points of negative space here, but really I'm holding that shift button down to go in increments of 10 versus like increments of 1 when it's not on shift.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to figure out like what feels right on that O. Like when it is, like if I'm looking at Ohio, man, part of me just still wants it. So one of the other problems here is like I'm using all these other characters around here when I really should just be using the O, I, and H. I might just set this a little tighter. Just to see, and we could be wrong. Sometimes it's nice to go to
Make
the
them
extreme so that
cuddle.
your eyes like are like um
Katie's like, kiss, 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 kiss.
yes, make them yeah,
Make
exactly.
him kiss.
Which I love. Like I love it when they feel like they're nesting, to your point of that S and
Right. The S
the
and the E
and
look
the
so
S,
good
they're, like,
together.
nestling each other.
Yeah.
Like,
And shout out to Mark Canesso
thinking of
because he
that as,
has,
like,
I think he has a font called like Title or something, like TIGHT, Title. And it's like everything is like just touching and it's so good. But anyway, yeah, I agree, Mattox. It's like I like everything tracked real tight too.
But you're probably also treating this
so
differently than it because it's a display versus if it was text, right? Like you might space it a little
yeah.
differently if it was, yeah.
Yes, exactly. Display wants to be tighter spaced. Text, you might be like, hey, cool, we're designing for like 14-point size or wherever you're landing there to be like, it's going to be a bit looser.
Mm-hmm.
And then a family that wants to live in both worlds, it's, yeah, you try to find the right balance because you're going to track it in when it's big and you might even space it out when it's a little bit, it's like living in the middle ground. So on our characters here, what you can do, our left side of our D, which I might just like copy and paste this H in and make sure it's lining up. That's like, hey, cool. This your serif is matching there is what I was getting at. I might even just put like H right there. So if I write that
Love
letter
doing that.
into this left side bearing, it's going to pull the H's side bearing into that. Whatever is the left side of the H here, it's going to pull for the D. Whatever is the right side of the D, sometimes it's not exactly the O, but in this case, we're good to just say like, hey, just pull the O. It's fine. Like that's not how you spell that word, but hey, like what I'm getting at there is that you can set up these characters like same as the B. The left side of the B, we can say that's the H. The left side of the E, that's the H. And so like that can, you'll want to update your metrics. That's the term they use in glyphs, where that's this Command Shift M or update metrics. And you would do that on all the characters, but you would want to like set it up. So it might be like, hey, cool, that's the H. The left side of the F is the H. And that allows you to adjust one thing and it adjusts everything in that realm, which is really
Kind of
helpful
like components,
for when
yeah.
this initial setup. It's kind of like components, yeah, where you're
Yeah,
like, hey,
connecting
this is
things.
the spacing reference
Yeah.
of where we're at. So one is that big piece there that is going to affect everything of like locking in where our O's or H's and S's feel like. The other thing that that like I guess to tackle this is a process is the other thing where you're kerning wise, there's some kerning in here, and if I would probably like remove it first before we get to that phase to get to like, let's make sure everything is spaced really well before we inject kerning into the midst. We can have some pairs that are like your common pairs because we're tracking that O so tight here, like with the H, we're going to want to have kerning happening on the right side. You've already set up your kerning groups down here and down here, but because we tracked it in, we probably would have to like push that kerning out just a little more from where it was at to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I always, if there's this bigger spacing change, I would just remove all the kerning. We can always add it back in down the road, but like just to make sure like the spacing is the font, and like just like whatever combination you're throwing, it's doing its best dang job to make it look beautiful, and then kerning is that like last ditch effort to solve it.
And I feel
Sure.
like
So
that is where like great fonts stand out from like just pretty fonts, right? Is like kerning and all the thought to like just making sure that out of the box when you use this, you're not having to do a lot of extra work to like make it work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
It's like
also
we've
the
all
thing
we've
that
all
So our
done.
control-
dries
Oh no, go ahead, Katie. Yeah.
I was just saying it's also the thing that hurts your eyes the most and breaks your
Oh,
whole like
spirit.
trust in
Yeah.
yourself.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you get to this
Yep.
phase, you're like, oh my gosh.
So like I feel like you should do what you want for this family. This is gonna have that more like that tracked in look, and like by taking space away from the H, it's gonna affect how we're taking our like O's and how those are looking like they're getting rendered. Sometimes people add a little extra space on the I, just because it like is a single solid stroke. So what you could do is
Mm.
make an equation here, which is equal to like H plus 2, and it'll take your H and just add 2 to whatever it is, to
It
give like a
feels like
little bit
we're
of space
working in
there. But
Excel a little bit when you do that.
I know
Like,
these are like, I think there's
I
like
know.
fonts are that mix of like you want to make beautiful art and letter forms mixed with like beautiful math that feels good. It's like, yeah,
Totally. Oh,
when both of
I
them.
feel so smart once I open up that once I open up the oh, what's the panel where you can like set your contextual alternates and all that kind of stuff. The features panel where you get to start writing code and stuff. Oh man, I feel so smart when I'm in there.
Yes.
I've not
Okay.
ventured
So
in
like
there
this is
yet.
a major
I'm
spacing
scared.
change.
Katie's like, it's actually, oh my
Um,
gosh, Katie, it's so easy with the glyphs manual. But anyway, yeah.
so this is a major spacing change. I don't know if you want to go down this whole route. Like you should, if you're like, hey, we were where we're at was good. I would say keep that, and then focus in on the lowercase over here, because I think if you do track it in, I would recommend. I think it's gonna like make those words lock a little bit more, and then removing
Mm.
some from your spacing character will further make those words lock. So I'm gonna do that on the fly right now. What I just did there in the program. I'm just gonna highlight
Whoa.
these. Again, this is gonna break some stuff for all of the ones that, which is why I'm like, let's just focus on the basic for right now. Um, but we're gonna highlight our basic characters, and then I'm gonna go in, sorry, and I'm going to go to path transformations, and what we are doing, no, sorry, metrics. There's too many of these like little
I
words that like
know. I
always
know. Sometimes it's
mess
hard
with
to, it's
me.
like, yeah,
Uh,
it's like, it's intuitive sometimes, hard to explain.
Glyph, transform metrics. Even though it has transform in the word, this is what we want. So in this, it's saying like our left side bearing and our right side bearing. If you want to make a major adjustment to the whole font, like we might go like -10 and -10. That's going to delete 10 points of space on the left and 10 points of space on the right side bearing of those fonts. And it's relative, so it's like saying for each one, do it. And so we're going to do that, and that just remove that space. So that it's going to be like maybe 2 tracked in right now, but let's see. Yeah, I
That
think
actually looks really good. Yeah.
it's feeling good.
Yeah.
And then the
Yeah,
spacing
yeah, yeah,
character,
yeah.
like I would maybe take a like some space out of it that way, so it kind
And
of
Maddox,
is
I have a
making.
question.
Yeah.
How do you pick, like, what's the standard, like, I think I read it, I looked it up once in Karen Chang's book, but like, how do you pick the width for your space? Is it like the space of an n, lowercase n, or like how do you kind of think about that in terms of like other characters? Because sometimes that breaks my brain as well.
Um, I think it's just up to the designer after looking at so many fonts and how they do things. So from like whenever we're making a family, if we're trying to be like, let's live in this genre. I know that Helvetica has been made so many times, but like with Scenic Sands, that is our like, homage to that grotesque meets like geometric genre of things. And it was looking at a bunch of families and being like, where is their spacing character landing that feels right? And sometimes they're way wider than we would expect, or sometimes
Yeah.
they're not as wide as we would expect. And so like I think it's doing what I mean, that's the weird part of type design, is sometimes it's like, this is what I
Yeah.
just feel like is right.
Yeah,
I
it
think
just looks right
that
to
looks
me.
good is
Yeah.
so like someone might feel like, hey, I want more space between my characters. It's also not always the best to just do it on the lowercase, but do it with like the uppercase too, and seeing like, cool, like, yeah, what feels good, where it's still like you need to register a space. You can't make it too tight because it's just gonna
Yeah.
not work. But yeah, so like I think tracking that in a bit for your lowercase, some of
Hmm.
this uppercase getting tracked in, we would do all those updates on these characters and kind of reset them for how we want them to look. And then let's look at how are we on time? Sorry, I'm like just going and
Oh
going.
yeah, I think we're good. I think if we jump into like this your stylistic notes here soon, I think that'll be good. Like, yeah, but I think we're doing good.
Sweet. So stylistic notes. On these like characters, I'm gonna do this remove overlap. And sometimes the stuff will get fixed. So you can see that there's these red nodes going on here. That means that there's like a double node happening over each other. And Glyphs is like, please help me. And so we're just going to do our remove overlap.
Yeah, I
that
think a
same
lot
thing or
of those
command
need help. I've been seeing the angry red dots and I'm just like,
Yeah.
y'all are so mad.
You're like, we'll worry about that at a
What's
later
happening?
date.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. We're gonna just, you can just go over and delete them. Sometimes Glyphs will get it, sometimes you have to go and do it. But the other thing here is, we should have tidied up past, but it's fine. This is now set where we got our node down here on the bottom left happening. But what I want to call it stylistically is I think some of the serifs are feeling light, like in your comp over here. Especially in this, I think we had some thicker serifs that were really blending well, especially with these like swashes on the S, and the overall serifs that are happening, especially in these H's and whatnot. And so I think going for like slightly thicker serifs here, where it feels like it just is like, and you can even like make that curve happen a little bit more there, so it pushes that out. But that curve needs to feel like it's matching the outers too. But yeah, just putting some weight into those, I think would be good. And then your L's and I think E's working. I think you could maybe bring it back, but I would definitely think about bringing that L in a little bit, so it just like compensates for some of the extra negative space up there.
I make my L's so narrow. I'm always just like, I just always want it to just feel like a little bit more streamlined. I can't tell you how many fonts I have to outline and make the L narrower because it creates such a big gap between the next letter. Yeah. I'm curious, Mattox.
It feels like it's really claiming its space now. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, what up?
What's
Just that
up?
little
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
So the same for that T. I think that, when you do one thing, it's helpful to like relook at the others and being like, oh man, that just reset my eyes to be like, oh, that T maybe feels a bit light on its serifs, and like let's definitely push out some of that. I really love the other T though that was in that it's in the alternates, I think, right now.
Yeah,
This
no,
tea
it
is
took
so
me
nice,
down
but
a rabbit hole, and I started having like an existential crisis because I was like, all the implications. If I change this, then
The butterfly effect.
is that how you spell that?
yeah. So I had that crisis during the class that I was taking, and they were like, just set it aside for now, and just maybe come back to it, do a different like
That's so
alternates or a
smart.
different style.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Just to keep progress going. Honestly, that's the smartest thing you could do. That's the best advice, is like keep moving on everything else, make a choice for now, and then you can always come back to it or make an alternate. It's so smart.
Yeah.
Yep. I love that S is so much fun. S's are so hard. Oh my gosh. So as we're
Yeah, show
doing
us
some
what
of
you
the
just
stuff
did there.
too,
Did you
as we
push it to
clean-
the left or the right? What did you just do there?
I pushed it to the right just to see like, hey, it felt like it was kind of like there's an issue, but it's not that. Like I moved it to the right and I popped it back over just to see like, was that the issue? No. I think some of this issue is in the negative space here, but that's so minor. But we might want to fix these nodes before we get to that, so that it like is a little bit easier to work with on that. But yeah, just trying to like match some of this space. You could put extra nodes here. It might be helpful when you do a bold. You might not need it. But the other thing, like I really liked, I don't know if you need to do that. This maybe gets too sharp. You might have went there and you're like, no, this is crazy. That's starting to feel like slasher movie vibes, which could be fun. It's in another style where you're like, hey, here's the serifs. But the other way is if you hit option, you click a path, you like add little nodes to it. And we might want to turn these green now. Not that. It's because there's, let's see. We're going to push this out that way and then
Aww.
turn this green so it doesn't. But if you wanted like a softer approach to your serifs, I feel like that was happening in your in the comp, and it could bring some like chiller vibes to this if you want, or just go with the cut. Like at a smaller size, no one's gonna be able to tell. But if you want that like cushion there, I don't know, you could put some cushion into the family.
No,
I know,
her to
I like
have
it
her moment.
sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer it sharp. I don't know why I like
Oh,
it
you do?
sharp. With the chopped, it's not like, I don't like it like sharp as in pointy. I do like the chopped top. I think that's nice. The flat top, but I do like the sharp. I could see this living on like a Disney title treatment for like Maleficent 3, or like, do you know what I
That's
mean?
so funny.
Like,
I said it in my I said it in my PDF proof for Cinderella, but I was
Yes.
picturing it for like do you remember that movie, or did you ever see it, like the Swan Lake inspired Disney movie that was like Prince Swan Lake Princess or something?
No.
Okay, any I watched
She's
it on VHS
chat.
a bunch as
Yeah,
a
this is like a
kid,
Okay.
classic.
and I
Yeah,
just
yeah.
immediately pictured it.
Oh, that's so funny. No, but it is. It's
They're like
very
nobody
whimsical. Yeah, and everyone in the chat is saying yes. This is very charming, very whimsical. So yeah, and someone recommended a name. They said Lino Thunder. I don't think it fits, Ronnie. Ronnie's
wants.
saying Lino Thunder. We're gonna need to know the story there between
This is
behind
like,
Lino Thunder.
I feel
I
like
think
she's
that
like
was
a
a
little
like
bit
I
more
don't know.
delicate.
Too delicate for Lino Thunder. Thunder. That's so funny. Okay. But yeah. But I personally love the beaks on the L and the E and the T and all that kind of stuff. I had a question, Mattox, as I was looking at things. Something I always like get caught up in is because I like fonts that feel intentional and where there's a rhythm. But obviously every font or every character can't look too similar. Otherwise, it actually gets hard to read. So like where that beak on the L and the E are coming off of that base stem, should it be round where it meets, kind of like how the serifs are curving, or is it good that it just kind of comes off the base, if that makes sense?
Mm.
Wait, sorry. Say
Okay, so
the
like
thing one more
yeah, so
time on the.
basically, you know how like the serifs are rounded, they're sloping serifs. I was wondering if like where the beak comes off the stem at the L and on the E, if that should be rounded. Like it's like, do you create consistency there, or is it nice that it's like a sharp like meeting at the base? So like that bottom inside anchor
Down there,
point,
yeah, yeah.
and in the
I think
inside.
if
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
going sharp up here, you keep it sharp there. Like you
Because
have
you know what I'm
sharps
saying about
everywhere.
the
That's the
sloping
like if you
serifs?
go soft, you go soft everywhere.
Right, but the
Like on
serifs are
these as well.
sloping, if
Like you
that
would.
makes
That's
any
what she
sense.
said.
But you know what I mean, Maddox?
The serifs are sloping. Like
So like would it be
you want
sloping at
me to
that
go
inside
rounded
L, like
here.
not there on the inside point. So you're
Oh,
on the
in the
outside point.
inside of the owl.
No, not that one,
Oh,
the other
yeah,
one
yeah.
on the right hand side.
That's. I know. On
Inner
this
right
one,
hand.
you
There we
want
go.
that
Yeah.
sloped?
Yes. Like do you ever
What?
consider
You're a
that? Do you
mad
know what I'm
woman.
saying?
That's crazy.
But that's what I'm asking. It's
Uh,
like when do you know
I
what
think
is
that's the
like.
fun
I
part of like
considered
just
it when I
try
was
stuff
drawing
and
it.
See, it's so Katie. So it's like because that's where I get in my head. Is I'm like, it's
Yeah,
like how
those
consistent do
little.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it is. I guess that's the hard part is that it really is all just like at the end of the day, it's just taste. It's just like your
that's a
own.
crazy version of that. But yeah, I think that's figuring out what like you could. I think that's like where does print and I always try to like be like how do we make this as like close to print as possible, which is why I like push it into like those little areas of be like you add a little bit of goop but not too much where it's like oh you just rounded something. Um, some people will round the insides there, but yeah, I think it's personal taste and figuring out what can work
Yeah, and
there.
just testing it, right? Just
Um,
testing it. Yeah, I think you're right that the rounding didn't work. I was just curious, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, nope.
so this is like we could go on for a while, but this is like a standard here of like, should you space your H and your O's or like your controls, right? So for like cool, hooch, cool, like that. I wonder if we could put a little bit more in the C just to like merge some of the boldness that's happening in the S and like down here. I'm just trying to like these are so minor stuff, but this is to your point of the perfectionist mindset and how you could like nerd out on all the little things. It's fun too. Uh, we want to like reset our left of our C to be in the O range. The right is going to be similar to the O range, but maybe a little bit more because we have these straights that are happening there. So like part of this is feel like, so put it around the O, which is 20, and then start moving it around to see like, hey, cool, this is where we want this to be. Same as the S, I would just like remove that kerning there and like space it where the O is, but a little bit less. And same on the right side, like we want that defined. Like I think what I'm getting at is like there's a spacing to this family that if you dive into it further, we can do that sometime. But just I think that'll like really finesse a lot of these rounds. You should treat them all the same way. So if they're like in a sense pre-kern to the H, like because they're nestling in
Hmm.
there, you're gonna kern your round rounds when they're next to each other because it's two extremes, this extreme and this extreme that are coming in contact with one another. When you're doing your S's, treat them like that mindset of the O, even though it's going to have less space because it has more negative space up here. You give it less space, but think about it in the same way as the O. So we wouldn't need to kern it with the H. In that case, we might just kern it when it's next to those O's again, because it needs to be pushed out just a little bit, because that's what we're doing on our rounds. So like our straights and our rounds, we want to think of them as like groups and handling them in a similar way. So does that make sense?
Yeah,
Totally.
totally.
I love that S. That S is so much
Me
fun
too.
though. Like
That's one of my
maybe-
favorite characters.
Yeah.
Like when I think about the name, usually when I'm thinking about names, I'm thinking like this is the way that someone's going to see this like for the first time. So it's like it has to have some of my banger letters in it. So like for me, that's like the S, the T is a banger.
Yeah.
The L is cool. So I'm curious if we think about what your favorite letter is, Katie, which one is your favorite letter?
I mean, I love the S, but I
It's so good.
I rode hard for the A to have its curvy little crossbar.
Ooh.
I don't know what y'all think about it, but in our course it was up for hot debate. People were, I think more
Divisive
people were
issue.
like they were like just leave the curve as like an alternate because it's like nowhere else in your font. And I was like, I am keeping this. I don't know why it was so important to me. And I'm still like, I'm technically open, I guess, if you like really freaking hate it. But I don't know. I just rode hard for it.
And Evan Place asked, what's the Q look like? The Q is a stunner as well. The capital Q is so good.
Oh, Qs are fun.
I mean, that Q is like, as soon as Mattox pulled in on, I was like, it'd be so cool if we could so like, in my mind, there has to be a Q, an A would be awesome, an E, maybe an M. The M is really beautiful too. We have to get your A in there. But that Q, the way it slopes down and it's really shallow at the top and just totally unexpected, I love that. Yeah.
So good. I love this. I just threw a component in there, so that makes it the same as the O. So like you don't always want your Qs to be the same as the O, but in this one it should be fine. So it'll like just pull whatever you're doing on the O will get adapted to the Q.
So you use a lot of components when you're designing?
Not
for
a
sure
ton, but like when it feels like the right time to use it, where it's like,
Easy
hey,
to do
in
it.
this family, it makes sense, especially on all the diacritics that you got set up there, where it's like, hey, it makes them 1,000 times easier for them to be
so much
components.
easier.
Yeah. So I think that this is like currently in a spot of like transition where we need to like relook at those spacings and like apply that to all the characters that we want there. Maybe your N goes out just a little bit there. We can refinesse some of the
She's
to
transforming
add, like,
before my eyes.
hopefully in a good way. And this is like where it's like take
coming
or
into
leave
her
some of the stuff.
own.
I'll send you the file after this. But
awesome.
being like, I like this stuff, I didn't like this stuff. But the goal here is to like create the system that you can like work within, where you're like, cool, this feels like there's a solid base to work off of from there, and like referencing your home bases in that. But I'm gonna export this, so I'm gonna go over here. Let's call this Goodtype Whip 2. That's just the name we'll throw in there. I'm gonna export it just to our desktop. Open. Next. So that'll export the OTF. Oh, I might have broken something. Please hint this glyph manually. It's like it didn't like that one. So let's go to the German double S, wherever this guy is. That's going to be...
Oh, yeah. I could tell it was mad at that because it was rendering it weird on a PDF.
There
we have some
the
great
lowercase
name
one.
suggestions in the chat, by the way. I'll have to read them to you all at the end, but I'm collecting them. Everyone, chat, just know that I'm collecting them, and please keep them coming. We're going to vote at the end, and I know Katie will love to read like what vibes you guys are feeling.
Yes.
So I turned that off from exporting just so that it's easier to, instead of trying to fix it right now, it just won't export.
Yeah.
But I also went over to these features and updated these features so that it will call the combining accents, your fractions, and if you have alts and things like that.
Yeah, totally.
We can get into that another time.
Totally, I know.
Right. Yeah.
Why is the quote right now? It's mad at the quote right. No.
Okay. Sorry, Jacob. Jacob. Ajarapu. I'm always like, it always get in my head. But Jacob said, what about Squire serif? Oh, let's go.
Wait, I love the one right below it.
Squire, what do we
Edelweiss.
have?
That's so cute.
Edelweiss. Oh,
That's
Horatio, what's up, Horatio?
Edelweiss.
Oh, we got a song, y'all. We got a
That's
song.
what I wrote.
Maybe
Out.
she'll
Nice.
maybe she'll sing the whole thing at the end as we leave. But Edelweiss, that's nice. Oh, that's beautiful.
That is
Jacob said
nice.
so close. Ajarapu.
So close.
Okay.
I
Jacob, you let me know.
misspelled
You let me
it.
know.
Squire is good too. I like Squire too.
Some of the things you probably
Squire's
saw me
really
do to
nice.
this too were like lengthen some of these serifs so that they took up more negative space to help like
Yeah,
merge them with the overall characters there.
smart.
Same with the L's. You don't have to do it. I like how far the E is out. Like it gives a really uniqueness to this E. But
Hmm.
whatever we're doing on that L, we can like copy for the E there. Let's cut that. Get that over here around where we feel like it's the same. It doesn't have to be the same. We just are like, hey, cool. This is like in a similar place. Great. And then I'm going to merge those back. Get these out of here. And sometimes it's fast, like work is good because it just like, it'll make you move on. You're like, boom, done. This might.
Yeah, no,
bring
that's
back
what I
down
was
to when you
noticing
had
about
it,
how
but-
you work. You're like in such a flow state.
It's such a stream of consciousness that you almost have to be like, wait, Mattox, what are you doing? Tell me so I can come along. What is it? But he's explaining it great right now. But he's done this to my
Yeah.
fonts before where I'm like just
Um,
trying to keep up. I'm like, what's happening?
But yeah, I think that like, and that's some also really helpful because you can like just go into a letter and just tweak forever, and then you're like come out of it, and you then look at it in the context of the family, and you're like, oh no, this isn't fitting anymore.
Right. Yeah.
Versus like trying to move through them quickly and then get to that place where you do want to refine all the letters really well. But it's like once they're in that state of like really matching. So I'm gonna export this. I'm gonna bring this over here. I'm gonna refresh this guy.
And then Mattox, there was a really good, interesting note from someone in the chat. Shout out to Evan Place, but they were saying a lot of people are mentioning alternates. And Katie, I think that's one of the fun parts about a font like this is like I always have a backup version. I do all my fun characters in the like default, but then I have a backup that I'll usually call like basic or boring. I try to call it boring, but Jen told me that that's not selling it, so I started calling it basic. But he was saying like maybe like the E and the L has like a shorter serif on those, like on like a basically more restrained version. But that's kind of like a fun thing to think about too, is like if a lot of customers start customizing, you kind of see like, okay, maybe there's opportunity for like alternates or open type style sets or stuff like that. And I love giving people, like if I made it and a version of it and it looks good and I think someone could use it, I like to give as many alternates as I can. Like I just think it's so nice when you open a font and there's like tons of options for other characters that you could use. Especially because
Yeah,
this could be a
1000%.
Yeah, I think
font that
this one-
somebody uses in a logo. Like this could be like, it's just so personality rich, you know?
It feels like a present from the type designer.
Yeah, totally. Like you just feel like this person had a blast making this, and like
Yeah.
they you know what I mean? Like I don't know, like every time I go into Goodtype or even Oh No, like they have so many fun extra glyphs, like symbols and like little borders and like just really fun things that you can work in. And I don't know, that's just like the fun part at the very end is like, let's just throw all these in. We'll make some style sets, name them something crazy, and glyphs makes it so easy to
Yeah.
do it.
I have felt really like I kept thinking like what do I want to pair this with, and I just felt like an italic would be so nice to like set little like less important words in a little italic or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then I got an italic course and then I got really overwhelmed.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Italics. Oh my gosh. They are special. They can kick your butt sometimes. Or like that'll be a whole nother, we can do that video next week or whenever.
Yeah, there we go.
Where we can tackle like how do you do like just finessing a oblique version like into an italic versus like redrawing from
Right.
scratch.
Well, yeah, I would want it to be like
but-
calligraphic, like definitely
yes,
which would
redrawn.
be so much work.
Which
But
would be
Yeah.
double
could
the
it be
work,
worth it?
but 100%
I
worth it.
know.
Yeah. Okay, so like we're working on getting an easier way where you can like click between the two. I think where we're at here is like this is the old one that's been in there, which is nice. There's like more spacing. This is definitely gonna work better at smaller sizes. Like if we just size this down, it's like this is cooking way better there. If we go to work in progress 2, things are tightening up. Like for those smaller sizes, you would definitely want to track it out. But at these bigger sizes, you might be like, hey, cool. Like there's still some finessing that needs to happen, but I think it just depends on the usage that you want, where it's like big old words like that have 1, 2, maybe 3 like title moments, maybe a little bit more,
Yeah.
or like these longer moments where they're like a descriptor over the top of it, like to set it like that. Like these areas, which I think that you could still minimize some of that space. But that would be my recommendation, is like take the file that we'll send and like think about what you like, but maybe don't go that far. Sometimes it's helpful, as I was saying, to like take it to the extreme, to then go like, okay, I actually like where I was at over here. It can like kind of show that a little bit more. But I do think the lowercase in general wants to be tighter.
Yeah.
Like maybe not this tight, definitely this tight if you're going for like big old sizes, because I think it's like gonna feel nice when it's like, oh, that's just like, versus where it's at here feels like it's got breathability, which is nice, but like that's much better for these smaller sizes.
Hmm.
So it's really like where you want to land. But I didn't do any spacing changes to that, like, which is, it's already working well there, and then figuring out how you want to get that uppercase
Hmm.
the setup for it. But the main, I mean, overall, like as everyone was saying, it's like this is already so good. There's
bones
just
are
from your
beautiful.
sketch. It's helpful to go back to that too. Just be like, oh man, like what's so good about this?
Yeah.
And continue to try to make it flow in there. So
One
yeah,
question that I had,
Wow.
Mattox, and Katie, I wonder if you felt this way too as you were building it, but I always have such a hard time with lowercase r's because there is always an awkward gap.
Mm.
There's always so much space, and I try so hard to get it so narrow, but it's like, you can only do what you can. But you know, is there a way to make this R even narrower? That was like my gut is I'm always like, can I make this narrower? But sometimes you just can't. Like sometimes you just can't. But I'm curious, like if you were to try to make it narrower, Mattox, like what would the solve be there? Because like it is so beautiful right now, and I love how it mirrors, like what's going on in the L and like the S and all that kind of stuff. Or does it
yeah.
even need to be narrower?
I think it's really fun. Like, gosh, yeah. Your options with an R are, do you go like full faucet, where you're like, great, like let's pull this down to like help out some of that space, which allows it to not go as narrow, or you're pulling that back in. Sometimes like that's just starting to look like a P now.
Yeah.
It's like a really small P. Or like,
Katie, I know you're dying to say
do you
something
just
after that.
No, no, no.
you're like, please don't do this to my
Get it.
family. um,
Get it?
You're holding
the
my family
tracking on it will,
hostage.
yeah, take this. But yeah, I think the this curve right here, I would mess with a little bit. One of the other nice things about glyphs is just being able to grab that like point here and be able to move it where you
Love
want it
that.
to,
Yeah, so
where
nice.
it stays on the line.
Oh, I like it a little
And
higher.
then I
Yeah.
think that, like, again, just do things at the extreme and be like, blur your eyes. Don't worry about
Hmm.
that it's not right. It's like, do I think it looks correct? I think I
Could we
went too
split the
narrow.
diff?
Let's
Yeah, I was
probably
gonna
that
say,
out
yeah,
too.
like half.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like that's starting to work really well. And maybe we'll need to refinesse that curve and get it to where we want it to be.
She
But
feels like such a little baby
God,
to me. She's like, boop.
little baby R. It's like, yeah. Yeah, and so that can be a taste thing too. You have certain families like Euro style that are like full R, like we're committed to showing you that this is an R.
Yeah.
So I think it's finding the right balance for you and where you feel like it should be, because that can be very much a taste thing. You're just trying to, knowing why you're like, hey, cool, we're trying to compensate for space down here. How do we want to do that? And then
Yeah.
allowing you to find a fun solve.
Well, I had an issue with the F too because it comes from the R too. Like area has a similarity with the R, but runs into the next. If it's like a full stem B or something, FB, it really struggles. FL. I know that
Yeah.
there's
Interesting.
some ligatures that you have to do for that, but
Luckily,
I
that you.
don't know what to do with it right now. I guess it has
Yeah.
to have less space in between like in the counter of the little, I don't know what you call the the space in between the little claw.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the aperture.
Yeah, I guess I have to pull that in. That's like the only option.
Luckily, the F and the B will rarely be together, but you could do like, you could just do a lot of ligatures, like FF ligature,
Yeah.
FL ligature. Those are pretty standard, and a lot of those auto come in for people. But yeah, I think it would be fun to do some custom ligatures there because that F is so beautiful. I think this is
I
probably
don't
why a
really
lot
know
of,
what I would do for
yeah.
FL or FE though. What would you do?
Oh, oh, I can visualize it. And you know what else we could? Another alt solve for the F would be, you know how like I think it's in Ricoletta, how the F kind of loops back and then comes around. Mattox, do you kind of know what I'm saying? It like leans back and comes around. I believe it's
Mm-hmm.
Ricoletta, and it's one of those like kind
Define,
of.
not this define. Why is it on define?
Oh my gosh, who did that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is on here, I think. So if you look at the F, it's very minor. It swoops in to the top, actually. That's interesting. But some of them like fully lean back. And actually, Jen's Cambridge might do that, I think. That's a
Interesting.
good one. But
This is
like,
not the Foundry, sorry, y'all. There, we'll just go to my fonts and type in FB, you're saying.
oh, let's see how they solve. That's interesting. Oh, it just runs into each other. I think sometimes, like for me, I'll like think about like I'll try to look up like words with F and B besides them. I'll just Google that and I'll just say like, if there's not really any word in the English language where that's happening, like I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna worry about
Or
like
I'm yeah,
standards.
but FL is gonna have the same problem.
Good point. Yeah, no, good point.
Cool.
So yeah, I wonder what the let's see what the solve is here. Oh,
Just
it
gotta
might not be.
merge it.
Oh,
It's probably not pulling though the open type features. I think you might have to turn them on, Mattox, in the preview.
I think I was hitting them over here for this
Oh,
contextual
okay.
alternates, or
Oh, I'm shocked.
I don't know what this.
Huh.
That's,
Wow.
I think that's their solve, is they merge it.
Okay.
Because the F
But
has
yeah,
so
that
interesting.
like
yeah, it goes
droopiness.
to
You
show
can
that you
see
can
it's
really do
like
whatever you
extra.
want. Yeah.
Moral of the story is do whatever the hell you
Do
want.
whatever you want, and it looks good. It doesn't look bad or anything. I just for some reason I just was like, oh, yeah, but yeah, as far as like the what I was thinking for an alt for the F is it kind of like turns the top of the F, that loop, into like a hook, like almost like a shepherd's staff, like that can sometimes be a solve for like having it lean back a touch so that it doesn't jut into other letters. Have you ever seen that, Mattox? You kind of know what I'm
Mm.
talking about, right? Like turning the F, top of the F, into like a staff where it leans back to the left side before it hooks around. It curves back.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
you'd have
yeah.
to,
It
yeah.
goes like
But
it
anyway,
has like
that could
Oh
a
be
yeah,
a.
yeah,
thing
yeah.
Do
there.
you kind of know what I'm talking about now? Yeah, because it's like this is a very
Yeah.
whimsical font, and it
You're
could
like,
mirror
hey,
what's going on with your S, and like, like it might be fun to
Oh,
see. Because I just saw this, like, and maybe it was Jen's font. Let me try Cambridge, because like I just saw this used in something, and I was like, oh, that's a cool solve. Let's go
that is
frame.
cool.
Yeah, let's go. Let me see if it's in. Okay, Jen does something similar. She just basically does a hook with the negative space, but she keeps the outside. Oh no, it is quite. It's a little leany. Well, no, it's straight. Yeah, yeah, that
oops,
could be
Someone
I
an.
in the
grabbed the
chat
whole
said
thing
they
there.
think Francis does the back lean.
Oh,
Francis. I
thank
don't
you,
know what.
Hannah. Okay, yes, yeah. Hannah's referencing the Hoodzpah type definitions poster. I know, because we're all trying to figure out like, is it
Got
an
it.
aperture? Is it a counter? No, but yeah, but I like yours a lot, and I think having an FL like some sort of ligature there would be a really nice moment, and people be loving ligatures. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, yeah. I mean, in some ways, it's like part of me is like it's just not offensive. And if someone really wants to make this huge and make, like, in a sense of like, I don't mind that, but that could just be me also.
I
But
don't
if you're
mind it
making a
either. Yeah.
logo, like just allowing the designer to just go like, cool, if you want to solve for that, go find a great solve. Like we've given you the tool like set up here. Like to your point of like how far do you go to solve, like if it's very offensive, definitely, that's where kerning lives in my mind too, of like, what should we kern? I don't kern anything that's like less than -4, maybe even -5 points. Like I'm like at that point, it's not worth the kern.
That's a
Like
good rule.
I'm just nerding out too much on this
Right.
versus
Sure.
Yes.
like
Yeah.
Like I've got
This,
to stop
yeah,
I'm
myself
spinning
somewhere.
out. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
yeah.
Yeah.
But gosh, this family is so nice.
I
Do you
love
feel
that
like
G as
you
well.
got that G is so good?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Katie,
Do you
how are you
like
feeling? Like,
what
do you
would
have
be
any other
most helpful for
questions?
what you're
Yeah.
wanting in this?
I mean, I have like a million things I could chat about all day because you just live in the details when you're designing a font.
Mm-hmm.
But this is so helpful to like pull me out to some more top level stuff like the spacing that I've just sat with for so long. It's good to have your eyes on that and a different kind of perspective there. Um, I think, let me, uh, I'm trying to think of what I had in my proof. But
This
I know
font
we probably
wants
need to
these
wrap up
crazy
here.
caps.
Ooh, drop. I love a drop cap. That'd be
Oh, that's a
gorge.
These
great
font
idea.
like
Yeah,
that
I
would
guess I
be
would
so
love
nice in this family
help
of.
on this kind of thing is like what alternate or like what things do you think would be worth the time to add? Because like you said, we can add like things forever, and it's
Yeah.
hard to know
Yeah.
what's like worth it and what's
Oh
not.
yeah.
Like I could, yeah, go ahead.
I think it's interesting because it's like the first font I ever did, I just was like, let me just test if anyone in my audience wants this, and just like get a V1 out there.
Right,
And before I spend so much time, especially like it's like we all have full lives and we want to make sure we're like spending time with family and offline and that kind of stuff. So it's like, I don't think there's
right.
anything wrong with like releasing a V1 that's like a little bit more limited and then like starting to build out like a really special V2 that has like the drop cap would be so cool. And you could even like
Yeah, that's
cuz your
good
style,
advice.
Katie, your style, you could do some like really flourishy drop caps that would be really special and cool. And
Mm,
even just like I'm thinking kind of like illuminated manuscript like drop cap like with some curls and like some vines or something. That could be really beautiful. But and we are in a
gosh,
medieval
that sounds
revival.
fun.
Doesn't that sound pretty?
Yes, we are.
Um but yeah, it's like maybe you release with like a V1 and then maybe you can have like maybe you can release the second version that's like expanded and you can just either give a free update to people who are kind enough to purchase the first one and be like invested in your first
Yeah.
font. And then maybe you can or you could if it's really like fully like a separate font almost, you could be, you could release the expanded edition and like maybe add on a few dollars or something. But I like to just jam a font full as much as I can. To me, I want someone to open it and feel like they got like so much value and to me that's like how you keep people coming back and excited for like the next release.
Yeah, totally. But that is really great advice to just like get things out into the world because I can be my own bottleneck a lot of times and my recovering perfectionism. That's really important, I think, for me to kind of put things out when I don't feel like they're like the absolute best version I could ever make it. It's really important just to have
Yeah.
it exist in the world at some point, and then it kind of
Yeah.
takes the pressure off, and then you can add to it
Yeah,
after.
totally. And I think there's a lot of stuff like I think for me I would add some ligatures. I think that would really be special. The FL, I think solving for
Yeah.
that for people would be nice. Just as an option. And I love your ampersand. You already have some beautiful stuff there. Like I said, if you tried a bunch of like fun characters, like if the A does have an alternate version, which it sounds like it does, and the T does, like include those. The ampersand, yeah, is absolutely stunning. Um, yeah, I think if there's anything fun and you're such a great like illustrator in a way, so like maybe some fun border elements, I think that could be really cool because I could see people using this on I like to think like where do I want someone to use this? Like invitations,
Yeah.
posters, and I think you're the same. So like maybe some borders, maybe some fun little like floral
Mhm.
elements. Like Jen did that on her Kensington release and like I use them, I'll open it just to use the glyphs constantly. So I like to add like little points of like delight and value wherever I can.
Nice.
Ooh, that T. Ooh, the
I
bottom
like
T.
D's. I
Ooh.
li-
Ooh, that's good.
I would go with this route, but that's like classic serif. It's gonna lose your ES combo, and if you're like that's the heart of this family, um,
I
Hmm.
think the only
but
thing was it
I
just
think
it feels more like an
it's a
old,
different fam.
like more
Mm.
traditionally old.
Right.
And so we were having a debate in the class about like, is it supposed to be like a modernized version of this or, so that's why we kind of came up with like maybe this is the old style version of it that has these
Yeah.
changed out serifs.
I also kind of
I
love
don't
the
know.
way that you have it, Katie, because like you just don't see that as much. Like I feel like it's so unique, and I like to have the unique thing be the default thing, and then it's like if somebody wants like a standard, like it's hidden in there to find it. But I think if you don't lead with the unique thing, like it's gonna be hard. I want people to be able to look at my font. Like people send me constantly
Mm,
like, "Hey, I just saw Beverly Drive," and it's like because it has those defining characters, people can identify it. And I feel
yeah.
like the top version is like so identifiable. So is the bottom because that S is so iconic. So is the A. But that's my default like feeling. What's yours, Maddox?
I would reach for this style more often, personally.
It's
I just
definitely
like gravitating
usable.
Mhm.
towards that look. I love it. So that would make me think. But going like other people reach for the other style. If you want, you could just name them like different. If you're not doing extra weights, which I would say don't do it. Don't worry about it for this one. Like if you're gonna add drop caps, like don't do
Oh
extra
God,
weights.
thank
Just like
you.
be like, I'm gonna do this one
Katie's
really
like,
well.
The
release
I'm
me.
gonna make this
permission.
yeah. Um, I'm gonna do that really well, but I'm not gonna keep adding because there can be serious creep in type where you're like, what is the if drop caps are adding a flair to it that will make people go, oh, I feel like this is really useful and I want it. Like I'm gonna buy it just because of this, because of the setting there, like it's seen in a specimen. Then it
Mm-hmm.
can be definitely worth it. Like because like we are also selling fonts if you're trying to make a living off of this,
Yeah.
and asking that question of like what's usable. I personally feel like you could go with two different styles
Mm.
within the font name. If it's Edelweiss, it's like what's the top style is some more like, I don't know, chic or flowery or whatever, like
Right.
whatever,
Yeah.
and then this one is like old or OLDE or whatever you'd want to
That's
Yeah.
like
nice. Yeah.
position there. But that kind of I love it when fonts have like a flair within their naming convention too that feels like,
That's
oh
so
yeah, this
fun.
they're like the whole
They're having a
vibe is
blast.
embraced throughout.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
like that idea, Maddox, of having like two styles. Like you don't have to, it would just be kind of like basically duplicating your font where you're at the end and like kind of deleting out the alternates and kind of like just like separating them out a bit. But yeah, basically having one that could
Mm-hmm.
be more like one that could be like nouveau, in the end it could be the same base name, but
Yeah.
then it's just like maybe it's like Mademoiselle Nouveau or Mademoiselle Old Style or whatever it is. That could be
Mademoiselle's a
cool.
great word.
Yeah.
I know someone was mentioning for that names. Do you
Um,
all want to hear the names or is it
Yeah.
too soon?
I have Damoiselle. I have Damoiselle on my list because
Oh,
Mademoiselle
nice.
I think was taken and Damoiselle wasn't.
And someone had a really interesting question about trademarking names and trademarking fonts. And I remember I had someone rip off one of my
Mm.
fonts, and I reached out to the type drawers community, and Thomas Finney was so nice to like give me help on it. But he was like, unfortunately, you can't copyright a typeface. Like letters are apparently the copyright office says that everyone owns letters, so like you can't prosecute for someone ripping off your font.
Ew.
I know, it
That's
really sucks.
crazy.
But you can shame them on the internet. He didn't say that in so many words, but he basically said it's very frowned upon. So if you reach out to him, to the person who ripped it, and just say like, "Hey, like I put your design on top of my design, and it's literally like almost exact. Like you really can't do this if you want to have any kind of career in this industry." But anyway, so someone in the chat was asking that. But as far as like naming goes, like I never want there to be name
I think that
confusions.
I've
Oh, go ahead, Maddox.
yeah. So just for clarity on those two things there, trademarks apply to names where you can definitely trademark like a word, right? Like a business or a font to be like, we own the trademark name for this in this world. I think that would cost probably around $350 to have a lawyer apply for a trademark name of a font if you're like really protective of that font. Separately, copyright, when anything is released into the world, it goes and you do have a copyright to certain things there, like the name in it, like in itself, but also like the point data. So that is copyrightable, and you could submit an infringement if people are copying point data in that. You want to come and say
Can
hello
you?
to this podcast? You can, yeah. That's
Wow.
we've had a lawyer do that in the past too, but
Oh, it's
it's very
amazing.
hard to. Yeah, Sarah's
It's
joining the
it's hard to
podcast. Do you
enforce.
want to say hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Okay.
Hi.
I gotta finish up
Aww.
this call and then
Hi.
I'll jump out. Okay. Hi.
That's interesting though, Katie, about the copyright. That's good for me to know because I feel like I was like trying to sort out like what I could do. So I'm gonna have to do more research into that because that would be really nice to know for some of our more popular fonts. Is like, I guess the hardest part is proving it in court, right? Is like would be like the enforcement side.
The whole.
And maybe
Yes,
that's what
exactly.
he
It
meant.
gets
Is like
crazy.
it's like you can try to do
Yeah.
it, but you can't enforce it. Was maybe what he was meaning. I'm not sure, but
It's
but
very
yeah.
hard to enforce. Thomas Finney is super smart. Yeah, I feel like
He's so smart. So I know he didn't give me bad info.
yeah.
Thomas Finney, you're awesome. I know that maybe I just interpreted it wrong. But that's interesting to know. That's good. I'm gonna have to look into that because it is. You work so hard on these things, and people soon, like in a year, Katie, someone will have a version of this on Creative Market for half the price. You know what I mean? Like it's just like if something does well, like people will rip it. Like just today, I saw a company rip off our acrylic type ruler keychain, and then they blocked us so that we couldn't leave a
no.
comment on it. But anyway, but that's how it is. That's life. But as far as naming, I think, like I always like to do not only like a trademark search for names, but I also like to search just like on Google just to make sure like there's not someone else who has like crazy good SEO rankings so that it's like really hard for me to make any kind of like headway with the name, if that makes sense.
Do you know about the name check website?
Yeah, I use that one. Do you use that one, Mattox, the name check?
I just popped
Yeah,
it in the
typeface name
chat.
check is great.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. We'll drop it in the chat and we'll put it in the show notes. But this one's great for checking.
It's not always perfect, but
Right.
it gives you
It kind of gives
it's
you an
helpful.
idea. Yeah, super nice.
And just so you know, if you've never looked at it, like almost every name is taken always, ever, forever, and ever.
It's so hard. It's
You go,
so
oh, I
hard.
found the perfect name for it,
Except
and then
for
you look it up and you're like,
Edelweiss
Edelweiss is available? Oh my
with an E.
gosh.
though. How do you spell it?
nice. I think it's not with an E
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
end, or at least that's how the person
Yeah,
had
we're
spelled
good.
it in the chat.
Oh, that's
Oh, that's
amazing.
Now, yeah, there we go.
oh,
Well, okay, let me
interesting.
read the names really quickly
Noble.
since
That's a good name, or not a name,
that
but like
is
a style name for that. I don't know. Look up
yeah.
some
Oh,
Edelweiss
right,
stuff,
for
and
the
yeah,
yeah, for like the two styles. I love that. Okay, let me read some of the names that the chat gave because there's
And you
so many
also
good ones.
and you also add some of the names too
Alpine.
that I have on my list
Oh,
to
yes.
that when you read it out. Perfect.
What do you got, Katie?
Oh, I have let me pull up my PDF because it's at the bottom here.
Oh, it's in the PDF. Let me open that up. I've got that too. Okay, let's see. Let me get it. I've got it right here. Okay, I've got
Okay,
it. Don't worry.
perfect. It's on the last page.
Okay, so the options that Katie has, chat. We're nearing the end of our hour and a half stream here, but we want to run the names by you all. And if y'all
Very
have any
important.
questions, very important. And if you have any questions that we didn't get to this stream, definitely drop a comment in the chat because we would love to have Mattox back. It's so fun watching Mattox just fly around glyphs and like give
Yes.
feedback. So we would love to have
Incredible.
Mattox back and have him maybe review a different font. That would be super fun. Or jump into one of theirs that they're releasing at Fort. So definitely drop a comment with your questions. If you're enjoying the stream, definitely like it. Give it a like. It just helps YouTube give this amazing stream to other people who might like it. And without further ado, we're going to drop the names that Katie has given for her font, and then we're going to also give some of the options that the chat suggested. Okay.
Yes.
So on the last page, we have Glass Slipper, which is so cute. It's so cute. My only qualm is that there's a lot of S's, and I almost try to fit as many different characters as I can in the name.
Oh, so smart.
Yeah, but I love the feeling of Glass Slipper is so fun. Okay, number 2, Cosette, Cossette. Yeah,
That was like Les Mis based.
love it.
Like Les
Love
Miserables.
we love Les Mis in this house, absolutely.
With an S. Cosette. Like,
Love it. Cosette. Yes, love it so much. Swan Lake, which is so cute. I love the way that looks. It shows off the S, it shows off the L. Oh yeah, type those in for us. Swan Lake looks gorge. We've got Cosette, and then Glass Slipper is another one. Mattox.
you're so
And
sweet. This is so helpful. Oh my God.
Glass Slipper, and then we have Taffeta,
Glass Slipper.
Taffeta.
Oh, like
Different
that was
thing.
like taffeta, like the or that. But I think if people are gonna say it wrong, which my husband did, and like, yeah, let's just get rid of it. Get out of
Okay,
here.
yeah, I agree. Okay,
Or
so
are
then
all
we have.
great font names pronounced wrong?
I know it's kind of like it can be That's so
Helvetica
funny.
Nu, Helvetica Noia, like
Noia. When I
heard.
first heard someone say Noia, I was like, uh-oh, I've been doing this wrong. Okay. Ooh,
Accidents, grotesque. Let's go.
Gossamer. Gossamer is fun, and I really like the Gossamer sounds good. A-M-E-R.
Is that how you spell that?
So A instead of I.
Yeah, putting you on the spot, Mattox.
Ooh, soliloquy. I
By
love
Passion
that.
Pit.
So Katie has soliloquy. Okay,
Oh, I
soliloquy
do
is
not
one
know
of
how
them.
to spell that.
Okay, I'm going to go Soliloquy.
It's
And that
got
has
your
the
Q in it,
I
Amy.
love the Q. Okay, now I'm going to read some from chat because there was some really good ones from chat.
Yes.
Okay, so Jacob Ajarapu said
like,
Squire. Squire is
too far.
amazing.
Very good.
So we've got Squire Mattox. Squire. Perfect. Horatio
Squire Maddox,
suggested.
that's my name.
Okay, there we go. Squire Mattox. We've knighted you, or close to. And then Horatio had a great one. Horatio Lorente said, what about Marquis? Like Marquise. Marquis. That gets so many of your beautiful letters in there. And then there's an E at the end of there. That's beautiful. Yeah.
That is.
Okay, and then Mademoiselle was one that was suggested, but unfortunately that one's taken, so we'll mark that one off. Artistic Dork suggested Quaint Serif because they really liked the Q. I was like, that's cute. And then we've got Alexa Wells Art suggested too, parlor or banquet, because it feels kind of like in a Victorian ice cream parlor or like a Victorian banquet or something. So I was like, oh, these are fun. Okay, these are nice.
Or the Victorian, they used to have like parlors where they would come and sit
Right,
and
the
like
sitting room.
talk about art and stuff.
Yes.
Well, not even
like
just
a
the room, but like
like a
isn't that-
salon.
oh no, that's a salon.
A salon,
no,
yeah, like a
okay,
salon. Oh, I
never
love
mind.
that.
But they would sit in the parlor.
Yeah,
Okay,
there it is. There it is.
got
Okay,
there.
I'm loving soliloquy in all caps anyway. That looks beautiful. But if we're thinking about like this is probably going to be seen first and foremost in title case, right? Or do we think? I think so. So which of these are feeling
Yeah,
good?
yeah.
Where do
Honestly,
you find yourself using it the most, Katie? Are you reaching for title case?
Wait, what
or-
was the other one that we really liked? Edelweiss.
Oh, Edelweiss. We can't forget Edelweiss. And chat, who? Oh, Horatio said, I said Edelweiss. Okay. Yes, Horatio. Yes. Edelweiss was so good. Oh my gosh. Horatio,
Yes.
we got to send you a copy of this from Katie once she gets this live. If we pick Edelweiss, whoever wins the name, and Katie might win it, but it'd be fun to send a copy of the font for sure.
Yeah, no, I'll give a copy of the font and like a free conference ticket if
Oh,
we pick anybody's name.
If we pick anyone's name, I love that. Okay. Stakes are high, y'all. Stakes are high.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Swan Lake is beautiful, but I feel like it's got to be trademarked, right? Like, surely. Maybe not, because it's kind of like...
Yeah, could be.
Edelweiss looks so gorge.
What
love
does
These are all
chat
fun
think
words. Gosh.
now that we
Yeah, chat, what are
is
we...
this
Do we want to
the process
vote?
that you two is this the process that you two do, like kind of narrow it down and then just like go between what looks prettiest, or like how do you do it? It's so hard.
Yeah. What do you do,
I feel
Maddox?
like I'll sit on it. Sometimes it just comes like halfway through. Sometimes the name is like there from the beginning, and it's like
That would be
super helpful when
nice.
that happens. But sometimes it was like Kodachrome that we just finished was like that was the day before release. I was like, this is the name. This is
Oh my God.
what I want
I've
for
got
it.
to
But
stick with something now.
um,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I
Day
think
before
that,
release is crazy.
I know. It's
Living
like
on
what
the
we're putting
edge.
the specimens here.
What a rush.
What a rush for sure. But yeah, I think that like I don't know, naming is so important because it's embodying. You're trying to like impart this feeling, this family, and also show off the characters really well that you really love about the family. So, it's hard. It's always hard unless like one time it's come early. Like, so.
My
trying to
business
create-
partner,
do-
Ilana, who is at Goodtype with me, she was saying she would love if we had some kind of convention for naming all of the fonts that we'll eventually do, imagining us like having a bunch of fonts at one point. Like, they're all like foods, or they're all like characters from movies, or like something like that.
I love that. That's fun. It's fun to have a theme. Jen hates me now because I tried to lean into a theme, and now she's like, I don't want to do the theme. But yeah, I like a theme personally.
Yeah.
Okay, it only lets me do 4 things in a poll, so I just picked the 4 that it seemed like you seemed excited about and the chat seemed excited about. So we can vote on the 4 that are in there. That'll help kind of weigh in. But Katie, at the end of the day, this is your baby. You've been spending hours on this. You formed it from nothing, from scratch, from just neural synapses in your brain. So I feel like you have to love this. You have to it has to be your choice, of course, for the name. So what are you leaning
hard
towards?
To commit. Gosh, it's hard to commit. I can't, I don't know. At one point it was called Lysandria, which
Whoa.
just
Lysander, isn't that a Shakespearean character? Lysander?
it's probably I actually was thinking of Lysander from one of my favorite books, which is Red Rising.
Oh.
So that's where
Brandon
that
Sanderson?
came from, but yeah, my Ilana wasn't loving it either, and I was like, we could do better.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah,
funny.
I'm still very open. I got jaded, I think,
Right.
from trying to
Okay,
pick it.
well, luckily we've got the chat going so far. 40% are loving Edelweiss. That's the one that's pulling ahead so far. 45%. We'll see.
So fun.
Yeah, so that one's a favorite already. People are also saying
Yeah,
Red
that did
Rising,
strike
so
an immediate
good.
chord.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you literally gasped. That's always a good sign.
Yeah,
A literal
I
gasp.
did. That is a good sign.
And I do think I love that it includes the S's, because I think if we didn't include your S, it would be a crime.
Yeah, agreed.
And
S
your
is
E.
a defining
Yeah.
character.
I really like the W's are where you, with the V's and the W's, those swashes.
Yes. Those are so cool.
Really nice.
And Katie, that could be another fun alt, for stylistic. And again, this can be a V2, but having some swashed ones. I'm sure you've thought of this, where that swash comes up higher off the W. That could be beautiful.
Yeah.
Such a good idea.
And maybe
Oh
it
my
even gets
gosh.
a little bit extra weight too to match the serifs, but yes, also making it even more. Yeah, I feel to your point of leaning into your strength of lettering and doing just having fun with those moments and I would. Sorry, this is the advice mode. Yeah, I would not. I know I've done a lot of crazy stuff here. I would take it all with a grain of salt and be this is what I really like, and then how do I have fun and really embrace the other parts of this and just get it out there, and then move on to the next one.
Right.
Because you're gonna
Such good
learn so
advice.
much each time.
Yeah.
This style and going to another different style, this will teach you for sure on the next one, but the next one will teach you stuff that you didn't even realize, and instead of just camping out in one the whole time. And then if people are this is awesome, we want more of it, great, let's
so good.
let's do these other things in the future.
Yeah.
But just
And just
not
starting to get some
sitting on it too
positive
long.
feedback. Yeah, starting to get some positive feedback and hearing what people are liking and what's working. That's just so
Yeah.
encouraging after
Yeah.
sitting alone with it and your thoughts. It can just be nice to just
Oh,
let it
1000%.
breathe. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And something that'll be fun, Katie, is I'm curious what you have planned for your specimens. Maybe we could just talk about that for 5 minutes, because I think it'll become really clear. For me, it always becomes super clear once I start the specimen. I've renamed things 5 times after I started the specimen, because I just start to see what the vibe is and what's looking good. So what do you have planned there?
Oh,
What's
so
it
interesting. Alana's actually working on it right now. She, because we
fun.
wanted to do a passion project that showcased some of the work that we want to do, but also doubled as font specimens.
Yeah. Oh, that's so
Um,
smart.
Nice.
So we wanted to kind of get into the beauty space a little bit. So she's doing some packaging for beauty items, lotions and perfumes, and soaps and stuff is where we're starting.
Nice.
But
Oh,
I
that's
can,
perfect.
yeah, I feel like this kind of begs for that. And I went to the Sephora website and I was setting some of the typography that I found there in this. But yeah, I think
That's
that's definitely a
amazing.
clear one. And then, yeah, book titles or things like that could be fun.
Love
Or
that.
title treatments in general. What do you think?
Yeah. I think that's perfect. That's kind of I was thinking book covers would be beautiful, showing a stack of books with different, filigree and binding with different names. That's something that
Yeah.
I'm doing with one of my fonts that's a little bit more it's a flare serif, and I'm setting it in different classics. You could do fairy tale book names or something, but I think makeup and beauty, that fits perfectly. It's so charming. Yeah. And honestly, just like big over beautiful like paintings or like, or over, beautiful photos like would be lovely as well.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah, good idea.
I can't wait. Basically we can't wait. And what's your plan as far as like when your goal for like when you're trying to release this? It seems like it's really far. Not only do you have language support already started, so like I know we did some spacing changes, but if you're using components, like that should be an easy kind of like update.
Mm. Yeah, I honestly haven't put a date on the calendar for it just because it's my first one and I was like, oh, I don't know how much I don't know kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, hopefully coming up soon here. I have the oomph to be excited and complete it, and I have some great ideas from you all. Um, yeah,
And
I just
and
want
just so
to.
you know, like Hannah Smith and everyone in the chat has been saying throughout, this as a V1 first ever font is already stellar. Hannah says, and
So good.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so nice.
everyone agrees. So like the fact that Mattox mostly did like spacing and like the most technical changes to me is like that's a win because that means like the bones and like the vibes were on. They were on point.
Oh, that's so
Um,
nice, and that gives me a little bit of confidence because it's always scary to like create
Oh,
something in a vacuum, and you're like,
yes.
does anybody? What if this is trash?
And it would be cool, Katie. I don't know how you plan to release this, but like it might be fun to like reach out to like future fonts or something like that, and like see if you can't like join somewhere where they already have like a built-in buying audience for fonts. You all have an
Yeah.
amazing audience of Goodtype, so it's like I don't think you're gonna have any problem like getting the word out there at all. And you're already known for lettering, so your audience is already perfectly primed. It's not like you don't have an audience, but like if you wanted help as far as like not having to figure out like how to host all the different files and licenses and all that, like it might be fun to partner up and just see if like they're accepting
Yeah,
new
that's
fonts over there.
great.
Yeah.
That's a great
But
idea.
but
My
if,
our dear
just
marketing manager Emily is in the chat saying, "How do we know when it comes out?" Thanks for reminding me. You can follow Goodtype on Instagram, and that will I'm sure we'll post lots of things about it there.
shout
Thanks,
out to
Emily.
Emily.
She's
Yes.
she's always helping me.
Go over and
I
follow Goodtype and
forget to.
also
also
yeah, go ahead, Maddox.
Well, I was just saying, Katie, one of the things that I really like to do for testing, you were talking about before and going to the website or other places, is using Font Tonic on
Whoa,
Chrome. You
that's
can
so
go in and then you
cool.
just choose, I change it to Good Test or whatever, but it'll replace that whole website, sans serif, whatever font that is, because we can restore it to where it was.
Oh my
So
gosh.
like we can see it on the fly. But it's really, really helpful for testing, like, oh, is
That
this a
is
great
so smart.
replacement if you're yeah, so you're like, great, let's go over here, and then this plugin just allows you to go like, cool, let's do this one. This maybe is
Whoa,
like this is obviously and
It's
it
so
changes
cool.
all the fonts to that. The
that is
issue is like
epic.
since Good Test was what I named this, doesn't have like a faux bold or it doesn't have a bold. It's just doing a faux bold on it, so it's not perfect by any
Oh,
means, but it can
got
just
it.
be really helpful sometimes to like go like, hey,
Yeah,
how is
that
this
is
working?
such a
Oh,
good
that's what you're to a
tool.
point of like the
Yeah, that's
eight has
amazing.
some really funky, crazy stuff going on. That's awesome. That's an accident. Do you see that? The way it's rendering is I can't zoom in further, but let me see if it pulls up
Which
here
part is?
in glyphs. But is the
The eight.
eight is
Right. Oh yeah,
rendering
it's weird. It's like
so
Oh,
gray.
cool. I don't know. It's not doing it there, but it's like almost like a tri line where it's three.
Yeah,
oh,
that's so
weird. Yeah,
weird.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna take it.
That's
So
great.
there's a little fun reference to be like, that's your other version of this you can do is this
Font tonic.
crazy tri-line version. Come on.
That's funny.
Oh man, that's so funny.
Okay.
No, but this has been great. Katie, did you have anything else you wanted to ask before we like wrap here, or did you have anything else you wanted to
I've
share on this?
I've taken up so much of your time, and I am so, so grateful to have these beautiful minds working on this and helping me spot things that I'm in too much of a stupor to be able to see anymore. So, and things that I just don't know yet. There's so much to learn. So, thank you for being so generous with your time. And I love this kind of thing and people coming and just showing up to learn together, and it just makes
So
me feel real
fun.
good. Thank
Oh, I
you.
love this kind of stuff. Like, we're hoping to do more of this. So, chat, like I said, if y'all want to do more of this, I know Goodtype does a lot of this on their channel. So, they have a YouTube. Go over there and check it out. Definitely subscribe here if you want to watch more design live streams. I know Evan Place was like, y'all are doing YouTube. And it's like, I know, we're very bad. We're trying to get better at promoting it. There's too many things to promote. But yeah, we're trying to live design over here and just have like fun panel discussions, just like sharing our process as much as we can. So, when Katie reached out, I was like, this makes so much sense. This is going to be great. And yeah, so definitely give Goodtype a follow over on Instagram and on the YouTube. Definitely go over and check out Mattox and Fort Foundry, the Fort app. Go to fortfoundry.com and check out that app. Y'all have to download it. It's so easy, and the value isn't crazy. Like, I can't even explain it to people because I'm like, it sounds like a pyramid scheme or something. Like, it's too good to be true. I swear it's not.
Yeah.
We are doing one new font a month, but anyway, we are doing one new font a month, and it's all in one membership. All of our fonts, you can use all of them, and you get a take-home forever license to the font family of your choice. If you literally plan on buying one font family with either us or Fort this year, it's probably on average going to be cheaper to just get the Fort app membership, and then you can keep that font family as your take-home license. So check it out.
So cool.
Yes.
Such a good deal.
It's such a good deal. It's such a good deal. And you all, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you for the next live stream. It'll be not this week, but next, so 2 weeks from now. And hope everyone enjoys their week. All right. Bye, everyone.
Thank y'all. Thanks, Katie.